Hey guys, welcome back to the NBTX Living channel. My name is Chase Bradley.
I'm Veronica Bradley.
And today we're going to give you a tour of New Braunfels. From this seat, because it's a Google tour, we're going to go ahead and show you all the highlight areas, the places where, if we're talking about New Braunfels, these are like iconic places that people know about. We want to make sure you know about them too, especially if you're not from this area. So make sure you stick around. We're going to cover a lot of those places here today. Let's go ahead and jump right into it, guys.
Before we get into that, don't forget to check out our social media page on Facebook.
That's right, we post informative content on there daily. All right, so you can see we've got the map pulled up here. New Braunfels is located right in between San Antonio and Austin, directly in between. So, we've talked about that a little in the past. So it's not too hard if you're trying to get to Austin or San Antonio. You have relatively easy access to both of them, obviously pending traffic, but not too bad in either direction. So first thing we like to talk about, just things to do in New Braunfels. You can see I pulled it up here right now. The hottest, coolest time in Texas, we talk about this a lot, Schlitterbahn. Schlitterbahn is a resort-style water park here in New Braunfels, Texas. There's lots of different rides. It's right next to the Canal River, so it's a really fun time. We take our family there
All the time.
Every summer
It's
at
our
least.
kids' favorite place to go to.
Exactly,
Never
right.
gets old.
It's my favorite place to go to. What are you talking about? But yeah, it is a really cool place, and we definitely highlight that because I feel like it's one of the best water parks in the nation. It's definitely one of the best water parks in Texas.
Yeah, Austin or Round Rock, which is like Austin's neighbor, has Kalahari Resort.
Yep.
We went to take a look at that when they opened up, and it was all right. It wasn't Schlitterbahn, but it was. We would go back again.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the food was overpriced and not so good, in my opinion, because I'm a foodie. But Schlitterbahn has great food and great prices, and just it attracts a lot of people to the area.
Definitely, yeah. We see people coming from all over the United States trying to come to Schlitterbahn. Like I said, hottest, coolest time in Texas. They name it that for a reason. So the next thing that New Braunfels is definitely known for, the rivers. The rivers, tubing, just river life, things like that. We've talked about in the past. Right here you have the Canal River. It flows all the way through New Braunfels. And then on the northeast side of it, you've also got the Guadalupe River. So you've got two rivers to choose from, and not too far away. We also have Canyon Lake. But today we're talking about specifically what's in New Braunfels, and you can see right here, Canal and the Guadalupe River. So not too bad, definitely an awesome time. If you like tubing, you like relaxing, spending some time fishing, paddleboarding, swimming, things like that, definitely check out our rivers here. So the next thing that we want to highlight is our downtown area. You can see we kind of zoom out here. This is the downtown area for New Braunfels, highlighted, I guess situated right around our main plaza. That main plaza, if you're talking about any kind of fairs or festivals, anything like that.
We just had the Comel fair, the parade, and it was like 3 hours long.
Oh yeah.
And it was a lot of businesses, kids, bands, programs, recognizing, safety, EMS, police, fire department. So it was around this roundabout. So there's a lot of things going on there.
It's a crazy roundabout to drive through, to be honest.
That's a different story.
That's a different story, different video. But definitely this area, the downtown area, you see a lot of historic buildings in this area too. So this whole section right here is a lot of historic buildings.
Especially
a little bit,
Nagin's.
Yeah, Nagin's. A little bit further down, you've got the Brontex Performing Arts, the Brontex Theater, as we call it. Awesome place. If you like, live theater, performing arts, they do spelling bees there. They do a lot of different things
and
there.
Nutcracker coming up for Christmas.
Exactly.
They're doing, the Polar Express for the kids, because right next door is the historic train station.
That's right. Right here, the New Braunfels Historic Railroad and Train, or I guess the Railroad Society there. So pretty awesome as well. But yeah, that's kind of like our downtown area. You've also got the Faust Hotel, which is an older hotel that's downtown, very historic. I say older, I mean historic. That's really what it's known for, yeah.
And haunted. They
and
say
haunted.
it's haunted.
So
Great
yeah,
food there too.
yeah. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in the downtown area. So definitely, you come to this area, you live in this area, you probably already know about it, but check it out. Our downtown, you know, well, maybe the nightlife, you know, I think they end the nightlife ends a little bit sooner than some other big cities.
Yeah, really sooner than the cities like San Antonio. We were out, my friends, some teams from members on our team, we were out, and I think last call was like 10 or 11 something, and I was like, so if you have a business and stay open later. Yeah,
for sure. But you know, downtown is a really awesome place to go. You visit this area, I definitely recommend checking it out. And then next, the thing that I really like about this area is just all the parks. So you can see all these green areas, just some of the parks that we have. Some of the bigger ones, you know, they have their little own icon. But Landa Park, probably my favorite park here in New Braunfels, Texas. It's not the biggest one, but I feel like it's one of the most scenic ones.
Beautiful.
They have a huge like water recreation area there. There's a pool, there's a walking and biking trail. There's pavilions all over the place.
Music.
If you want to get married out there, we know somebody that got married out there.
Got married out there. So, it's so beautiful though. You would think like getting married at the park, but it was like a little gazebo, and it was a beautiful wedding.
Fisher Park, one of the newer parks. It is the bigger park here in New Braunfels. You can see from the picture there, it does have like a little splash pad and a playground area.
Hiking and biking trails.
That was one of the first parks we brought our kids to when we came to this area, just to like kind of test out the park, you know, figure out what was going on. But you know, the hiking and biking trails there are a little bit longer. So if you're looking for a little bit more of a challenge or just a longer duration of hiking, this is definitely a park that I would recommend going to. So yeah, and it's really not that far away from
a garden center too.
Oh yeah, the garden center, and they have like a butterfly like display there, just because of all the flowers that they have there. A lot of butterflies come there.
Fish out there too.
Yeah, and there's two fishing areas, so it's pretty awesome. But you know, those are some of the things to do. I mean, there's a lot more. You know, if we go a little bit south, there's the animal world, the snake farm as I like to call it. You know, you go a little bit north, there's also a drive-in theater.
I love this. I love it so much.
The drive-in theater, yeah, you thought those went the way of the dinosaurs, right? But there's still one here in New Braunfels, which is pretty awesome.
And in the beginning, it's like old school, like how, like, you know, what are they called, previews or trailers? It's kind of like old school, like if you're back in the 50s and 60s, and their whole theme is around that too, like their shops. Your dogs can come. The dogs can't go into the eating area, but you can bring your dogs and your kids, and you literally are watching a movie from your vehicle, rain or shine. They don't close.
Yeah. So really during the fall and the springtime, when it's a little bit cooler out, that's one of our favorite places to go. And they do 2 movies for the price of 1.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a really good value too. So really awesome time. I mean, highly recommend going to that.
Yeah.
So some of the next things that we like talking about are shopping.
A lot of cool places to shop around here. Local boutiques that I love. And we also have a Creekside, which is like commercial type shopping. So when I say commercial, I'm talking about like the Targets, the TJ Maxx, the Ross, what else is there? Dick's Sporting Goods, Hobby Lobby, Home Goods, all that stuff that he doesn't like. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of local places to shop around. I feel like that's so big here. Yeah, it
definitely is. And then the other thing that's really big here is going to be our boutiques. You know, I'd kind of do a disservice if I just searched boutiques on here because there'd be so many of them that pop up, right? So these are just a few of them, but you know, we just search for boutique and you scroll up and you already see in just this area there's that many of them.
Yeah.
So a lot of local like mom and pop shops. If you're really interested in supporting your community, you know, buying local, there are a lot of opportunities to do that with the local boutiques that are in the New Braunfels area.
What I personally love about the boutiques when I go in is like they know you by name, they remember your face, and it's just like there's so much love going into just, when you walk in, it's like, wow, you just feel important and they remember you. And I think that's great because you don't really get that in the big tight, you know, they're like, how can I help you? What do you need? It's over there. It's like, thanks.
So the last place, and you know, it's kind of weird that we would bring this up, right? Because this is typically a gas station. But yeah, Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's has a shopping area inside of it. It has food. There's apparel, Buc-ee's apparel, and just general Texas apparel. That's really alcohol, definitely.
Snacks.
A lot of different things. Yeah.
Desserts and tacos and brisket sandwiches and Texas themed stuff. We have clients that move out of state, especially if they're military clients. We send them Buc-ee packages because they miss Texas beef jerky. Yeah. You know, like what are those roasted almonds or pecans with cinnamon toasted stuff? Oh, it's so good.
The beaver nuts.
I call them beaver nuts the whole time. They're beaver nuggets.
Yeah.
Or are they nuggets or nuts?
They're nuggets.
But we call them beaver nuts.
Yeah. So I mean that's there too. I mean those things are really good to eat. You know, kind of weird name, but yeah, if we're calling it, is
we renamed it. They're not really called beaver nuts.
Beaver nuggets, right? So that's the real name of them. But yeah, Buc-ee's another kind of off the wall place to shop, right? Because you wouldn't think, let's go shopping at a gas station. Who would ever think of something like that? But in Texas, gas stations are destinations. So make sure you keep that in mind when you come in. So the next thing, yeah, we just talked about Buc-ee's and all the great food that they have. Let's talk about some of the food options that are here in New Braunfels. So one of my favorite, I guess, barbecue places to eat. Oh, I didn't just spell right. But it's gonna be Black's Barbecue. Really good barbecue. I mean, it's kind of contested, right? There's some other places, you know, outside of Seguin, if you're familiar with like Burnt Bean. You know, they're really good as well. They also have Rudy's here, Cooper's. A lot of different barbecue, being as it's Texas.
Yeah, Texas has amazing barbecue. I unfortunately am not that big of a barbecue fan. I think I ate so much of it when I was younger. However, I'll still eat it. We had a team meeting the other day and we got barbecue for our whole team. But he can eat barbecue every single day. I'm like, my restaurants are like McDo's and tacos, seafood.
So yeah, speaking of McAdoo's, that's one of our favorite seafood places here in the New Braunfels area. It's like kind of an upscale seafood place. They've got oysters on the half shell. They've got so many different delicious things to eat.
They have this seafood salad. It's so good. And they're, what is the appetizers that we get? The crab cakes.
Yeah, the crab cakes.
Oh my gosh, they're so good. And a little fun fact about McAdoo's is it was actually New Braunfels' first postal office. So when you walk in, it's like an old school postal office, and it's very elegant in there. You can go there dressed casually. Sometimes I'm in workout clothes. I'm like, let's go to McAdoo's to eat. Yeah, it's a really great place. Oh, Adobe is also one of our favorite Mexican restaurants that I love to eat at.
Yeah, so this picture is kind of a throwback because it doesn't look like that anymore.
No.
Like, they definitely have updated the paint to the outside, but I mean, you can see there just that's what it looks like now. But the food there, for, you know, kind of being
the fajitas for two, the carne quesada, that's so delicious. Guacamole, queso and chips, salsa, all that stuff.
Anything you like there. They have the Mexican food. It's probably one of the better Mexican food places here. You know, and it's very affordable too. That's the other thing that we like to highlight.
Their margaritas are okay too. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah. And then the other thing is the food trucks. So there's so many food trucks here in New Braunfels. That's like major big business here in this area.
So New Braunfels has a food truck association. So like they're real big about making sure keeping the permits up, like food handlers, all that safety. So that's huge here. In San Antonio, there are food trucks, but like I think it's so big here. Like today is for the past few weeks we've had food trucks come into our neighborhoods. Like there's one in our neighborhood right now as we're filming.
Yeah. So, you know, enough of the food. I mean, as much as it pains us to
one more though, because I just have to mention it because he talked about Adobe's Cafe. I was on a mission to find the best taco in New Braunfels, and I found it. And it's called, type in Monterey Cafe. It's a little hole in the wall place, and you have to get down. There's no drive-through, and sometimes I look like a hobo going in there, but you know, it is what it is. They have the best tacos. Look at that. I'm hungry now. You have fancy type, La Cosecha is also a fancy, like, mix.
More upscale, it's like fusion. I think it's like Argentinian.
Type in it so they can see. You have to see, because there's like, that's like 3 different depending on what type of Mexican food I'm craving. So it's like, do I want old school, like hole in the wall, but like so delicious tacos, or do I want to sit down with the family at Adobe? Or then you have these fusion La Cosecha, which is great. It's delicious there, like so good. We can do this all day, but okay, let's move on.
All right. So yeah, food, like, well, there may not be a whole bunch of options. The options that are here typically are very good.
They are good.
So yeah, you know, something to think about when you're coming here, either for vacation or just to, you know, to live here. You want to live here and you think about the food options. There are a few, and the ones that are here are very good. So the next thing we want to talk about is the schools in the area. Realistically, are 2 main high schools in this area. So we've got Canyon, which is part of Kamal ISD, and then we also have New Braunfels High School, which is part of New Braunfels ISD. The high schools in themselves, very comparable in terms of ratings and things like that. It really just depends, you know, which side you live in, where you're zoned at, if you want to be red or if you want to be blue. We've kind of talked about the rivalry here. But,
so New Braunfels, actually, ISD is one of the oldest high schools. And so, but Canyon's been around for a while too. So I think sometimes it's generational. So if like your mom or dad went to that high school, it's kind of like set where you're gonna go. And then with a lot of people moving to New Braunfels, I think it's just dependent on the area you live in. We also have, I want to talk about, we have a charter school here. There's a waiting list. It's called Premier High School. It's considered public school, so it's free, but there's a waiting list. And then we are getting a new high school for New Braunfels ISD. It's going to be called Long Creek High School. It's currently the 9th grade center right now for NBISD. And so they're transitioning it because of all the development. So I mean, obviously schools all over, we're building new schools, and because people are moving to our area, so that means that the schools are, you know, there's an overflow and whatnot. So Long Creek, they haven't picked a mascot yet. I'm kind of hoping they stay with the unicorns because that's pretty cool. I just think that's pretty cool. But I don't know if they'll listen to me, so.
Oh yeah, the 2 high schools you can see right here. Well, that's the middle. That's the middle school, but it's literally like right off of 35. There it is. So, you know, a stone's throw away realistically, but Canyon High School and then New Braunfels High School, you just imagine the rivalry, the football games, the basketball, volleyball, you know, whatever else. There's just huge rivalry here in the town. But yeah, so now let's talk about some of the places that you can live here in New Braunfels. So she already touched on it, Veronica. It's one of the newer master plan communities here in New Braunfels. There's there's maybe 2 or 3 builders in the area.
Pulte, David Weekly, and there was another one. Was it Katie?
Gian.
Oh, Gian, okay. Gian. Gian. So Veronica has its own Veronica Elementary School. So I have a feeling there's going to be more schools being developed within that area, because you have Oak Run Middle School there, and with all the people coming in, I have a feeling there's going to be another middle school coming up. Just letting y'all know.
Yeah, definitely. New Braunfels is booming, guys. Like, there have been so many people that have moved into the New Braunfels area over the past couple of years. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, with us being in 2020, the census came out at 90. We're way over 100,000, even though that hasn't officially been reported. It's crazy.
So that was one of the newer subdivisions or newer communities, master plan communities. So let's talk about one, I guess, more established. You know, maybe not
Dove Crossing.
Yeah, Dove Crossing.
That's close to us.
It's actually very close to us. But you can see Dove Crossing here. It's right, very close to Fisher Park, close to the middle school, and then also the 9th grade center, which is a little bit further that way. But realistically, it just depends on what you're looking for in a house. If you want, you know, a house that has bigger trees, more well established. We have that here. If you want something that's newer, brand new builds, stuff like that, New Braunfels is still building new communities even as we speak, and there's new communities that can be built even into the future. So definitely a place to think about whenever you are planning your next place to live.
I just want to point out, sometimes people are reaching out to us. By the way, thank you. And reaching out to us, they're like, well, we don't want an HOA. So with like newer construction homes, you're going to get an HOA. So around right here, county line, we talked about Duck Crossing, all these newer developments. There is HOA there, but on this side, there are a couple of pockets that they're established neighborhoods and there isn't HOA there, and they're actually nice neighborhoods, and people keep up with their homes. And further down Walnut, again, there's some areas without an HOA. So it just depends on the buyer, depends on what you're looking for. We have it all, really. And if you're into older homes, we definitely have historic homes here in New Braunfels, and you're gonna find that closer to downtown New Braunfels. So we have people who are looking for flip homes. People are going in, investors are going in and flipping the home, either staying in it or reselling it. And when you do flip a home in downtown New Braunfels, you're gonna make a pretty penny out. Now, keep in mind, these homes are older, so they may need a lot of TLC, but it's worth it. And they're great, they're gorgeous. So a lot's going on downtown. Think of Airbnb, short-term rentals. Oh
yeah, especially being as close to the rivers. I won't put money on this, but I would say for sure over the summers, the fall, even the spring, you would stay booked just because people love coming here.
There's always something to do here, yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that was our little tour of the New Braunfels area via Google. Definitely stay tuned. We want to get y'all guys out there and do an actual tour, show you some of the places. But, between the drone footage and the pictures and everything like that, this video will give you a better idea of what's going on in this area. But yeah, if you're really interested in that kind of stuff, make sure you subscribe and you hit the notification bell so you don't miss any more videos. We put videos out like this all the time. We want to make sure we're your #1 source for information about living in New Braunfels, Texas. But if you do want to move here,
yeah, guys, you need to reach out to us. We are the agents who are doing the deals here in New Braunfels and San Antonio. We eat, sleep, and breathe real estate. Call us, text us, email us, because we are going to help you live your best life here in New Braunfels, Texas.
That's all right, guys. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.